Pokemon, a game series of sending children into random woods, caves, towns, and other people's houses while having them adopt these creatures called Pokemon and forcing them to fight their friends and family. It's a lovely thing, isn't it? On a serious note, it's amazing how Pokemon started off back in 1996 with Pokemon Red and Green back on the Game Boy. Fast forward through 20 plus years worth of games and consoles, we're at the latest release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at the time of making this video. Now you may be asking me, why are you reviewing this now even though the game came out last year? That's a valid point. The reason why this is because I got bored of it. I initially bought both games around the time that it came out as a birthday gift for one of my sisters. I gave her the one she wanted, this being Pokemon Violet, and I took Pokemon Scarlet. I eventually got around to finishing this game once I decided to make a YouTube video about it. While watching some video essays about it and the recent Pokemon releases, I noticed a lot of criticism and some good things about it. Over the course of this video, I want to explore some of those thoughts as well as my own journey with this game. Without further ado, let's start off with the gameplay. You know, with it being a game and whatnot. I don't know at what stage or Pokemon game it started off with, but the last couple of Pokemon games each have a defining aspect that adds to the Pokemon battles. Just to run you through the list, we've got Mega Evolutions, Z-Moves, Dynamaxing, and Gigantamaxing, and with the latest addition here, we've got Terastallization. I'll explain these because I'm aware not all Pokemon fans are the same. We've got casuals like myself, competitive nerds, and the ones who want to catch them all, and more. Mega Evolutions originated in Pokemon X and Y, aka Generation 6, which also brought us the wonderful Fairy types. If players had a Keystone and the right Pokemon, they could trigger a Mega Evolution, which causes the Pokemon to take on a new form for the duration of the battle. Mega Evolved Pokemon are more powerful, and they sometimes gain a new type. Next up we've got Z-Moves, which were introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon. If the trainer is wearing a Z-Ring, and the Pokemon is holding the appropriate Z-Crystal, this can happen. Z-Moves are extremely powerful, and the trainer strikes a pose before the move is executed. Next up we've got Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, which were introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield. They're essentially the same thing, but slightly different. Dynamaxing allowed any Pokemon to become bloody massive and increase their HP to a crazy amount while changing their moves in the process. Gigantamaxing is the same thing, but only certain Pokemon can do so, and in this process they can change their appearance and they gain G-Max moves. Now we're up to the most current gen, Scarlet and Violet, with Terastallization. They have a wonderful animation in the process. The Pokemon gain enhanced stats. Some Pokemon will be able to change their type. For example, Smoliv is a grass and normal type, but its Terra type is ground. Scythe is a bug and flying type, but its Terra type is normal. And Crocodile is a ground/dark type, but its Terra type is fire. This allows you to pull a fast one on your opponents, whether it be in the main storyline or competitive. Even if your Pokemon's Terra type is the same as its regular type, it'll get an increased boost of the same type moves. I like the introduction of Terra types, as it forced me to keep myself on my toes and had some of the best visuals in the game. I just wish they brought back some of the older battle gimmicks from the older games, such as Z-Moves and Mega Evolutions, just so that you could rotate between them. For context, this is the 4th Pokemon game that I've played, which isn't a lot considering the amount of mainline games that are currently out now. I started off with Pokemon Platinum in primary school, then Pokemon Shield in 2020, Pokemon Emerald in 2021, and then Pokemon Scarlet in 2023. Another constant thing in Pokemon Scarlet is the open world aspect of the game, where players can explore the regions freely. I like this because you weren't bound to going to a certain gym first before another one, minus the gyms in the snow. In this game we have Team Star as our antagonist organization this time around. We also hunt down the Titan Pokemon scattered across the Paldea region. I like this because it allows the player something more to do besides going from one gym to another and a few side quests. While I say all this and am up for the innovation, the 3D design and world of Pokemon Scarlet feels kind of flat, and so do the Pokemon too. Now I'm not asking for much, but just for the 3D designs to feel a bit more lively. For example, it felt like they got the Pokemon designs just right around generations 4 and 5. This game does hold your hand a lot, and when I say a lot, like the entire time. This includes everything from telling you where you should go, how to get there, and the Pokemon XP share. I will say though, the XP share is great if you're a streamer or a YouTuber in a rush to get out content like me, but otherwise it allows you to entirely steamroll the game. I usually never want to trash on a game, purely for technical difficulties, but this game was full of them from beginning to end. Keep in mind, I got constant updates each time I played, so there shouldn't have been any glitches. Right? Yeah, guess again, boy. It wasn't as bad as those who played it day one, but it was just a pain to have your screen black at random times, slow loading screens, and more. Think of it as a love-hate relationship. The gym leaders were pretty easy, but I did like the touch of the gym challenges you had to do before battling the gym leader. I also like some of the gym leaders like Iono, Kofu, Larry, Rhyme, Tulip, and Grusha. Grusha had me sexually confused when I found out he was a guy. But I liked his aesthetic in Pokemon. Tulip is fine as hell. Rhyme is easily the coolest gym leader with the rapping and the double battle style. I like Larry's contrasting lack of personality compared to the other gym leaders. Kofu is just a sweetheart of an old man, and Iono is a cute streamer. Need I say any more? I forgot to say this earlier, but I dislike how the recent Pokemon games make your rival choose the starter Pokemon that's weaker to yours, because it takes away that challenge, and the rival battle ended up becoming something that I wasn't excited to do anymore. I liked how Area Zero was empty looking, with terrifying looking Pokemon, and the best song in the game next to Gym Leader's Pokemon terrestrializing. Can we just say that Arven's mum is just as bad as the dads of a shonen main protagonist? She seduces to her son to look at some cool Pokemon and bring them back as pets. However, she is hot, almost to the point of me justifying what she did to Arven. I think the main reason Pokemon is still going on strong is the emotional attachment and nostalgia that fans have with it. For crying out loud, these guys are worth $90+ billion. While I feel that the expectations of fans can hold back the progress of Pokemon games, it's the same thing that allows these guys to keep growing as a brand. I do believe that Pokemon games can be greater than what it is now, but it needs to be given the time to grow and make changes that the fans want and that the series needs to evolve it. All in all, it's been a fun ride with this game, although kinda forgettable. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for being a part of the Black Sugar Lovin' experience. This is Black Sugar Lovin'.